This is Tuck, and in this video we are looking at algebraic fractions, and first of all we're going to look at multiplying and dividing and how we simplify these. So the question we have below is 2n squared minus 11n minus 6 over 8n squared plus 22n plus 15 is divided by 2n squared minus 11n minus 6 over 12n squared minus 13n minus 35. And the first step is to factorize the quadratic expressions. Now, in order to do this, we're just going to do some simple factorizing. So we can get 2n squared minus 11n minus 6 can go to 2n plus 1, and then n minus 6. And then 8n squared plus 22n plus 15 will go to 4n plus 5. And then also 2n plus 3. Now here we have divide, but in order to get this a multiply, which is a lot easier to do, we're just going to have to flip this around. So that means that we're going to have 12n squared minus 13n minus 35 on top, and then 2n squared minus 11n minus 6 on the bottom. So if we factorize 12n squared minus 13n minus 35, we get 3n minus 7 and then 4n plus 5. And then this is over n minus 6 and then 2n plus 1. Now, when you're multiplying things together, what you would do is you do the numerators times together and then the denominators times together. So if you were adding all this together, then you would have 2n plus 1, n minus 6, 3n minus 7, 4n plus 5 would all be the numerator. And that's all over 4n plus 5, 2n plus 3, n minus 6, 2n plus 1. But obviously this means that we can cancel things from the denominator and the numerator, and that's what we're going to do now. So we can see here this 2n plus 1 here can be cancelled with the 2n plus 1 on the bottom. Then the 4n plus 5 here can be cancelled with a 4n plus 5 over here. And then the n minus 6 here can be cancelled with the n minus 6 here. So therefore that's essentially leaving us with 1 over 2n plus 3 times by 3n minus 7 over 1. And we times those together, we just have to do 1 times 3n minus 7, so there you got 3n minus 7 over 2n plus 3. And that is our final answer in its simplified form. So the next thing to do is to look at adding and subtracting. And this one here is a subtraction, but they are exactly the same method if it's adding and subtraction, with just one minor difference, which I'll show as we do this example. And this example is 3x over 2x plus 9 minus 5x over 3x minus 4. And in order to do this, we're going to do a method called the Teepee method. And it's called the Teepee method because it looks a bit like this. If you remember this, it's very easy to do. Now the numerator is going to therefore be, so we got the 3x times by 3x minus 4, so therefore we're going to put that, and that's that part of the Teepee. And then the other part is going to be 2x plus 9 times by, this is where the minus comes in, and that's because this is minus, going to be minus 5x, whereas if this was a positive, it would be 5x. But it's only the numerator on this side which is negative. The 3x minus 4 is still positive. So this means that it's going to be minus 5x to the 2x plus 9. And then what we're going to have is all over, and this is where the bottom part comes in. It's just a denominator multiplied together, and we're not going to do anything to this. We're just going to keep it in 2x plus 9 and then 3x minus 4. Now all we've got to do is simplify it, and that will mean that we're going to get, so 9x squared here, and then minus 12x, and then minus 10x squared, and then minus 45x, all over, and then we keep this exactly the same. We could, if we wanted to, expand these brackets, but there is no point, and if there was something that we could cancel at the end as well, then we would do this. In this particular example, we won't be able to cancel anything, but occasionally it may come where you can cancel it, and you have to be aware to do that so you can get it in its simplest form. And then we're just going to collect the like terms on the top, so we get minus x squared minus 57x all over 2x plus 9 and then 3x minus 4. And then if we want to get it completely in its simplest form, then what we're going to get is we're going to take an x out at the top because there's an x in both. So it's going to be x, and then in fact we could take a minus x out at the top because they've both got minus x in, which will mean there's minus x and then x plus 57. And then this is all over the denominator that we've kept throughout the whole thing. So 3x plus 9 and 2x plus 9 and then 3x minus 4. So that is how you do a subtraction. Obviously, I just said adding is exactly the same thing. It's just you don't need to take into account any negative answers. But the Teepee method is the most easy thing to do. And when you get harder examples as well, harder than this, it would also work for that. So thank you for watching this video and see you soon. Bye.